Good evening. I'd like you to start by stating your name and your relationship to the victim.
My name is Andrew Jackson, and Logan Jackson was my son.
Okay, so as your son. So this was it was the first week of the semester. Did you have contact with your son throughout that night at all?
Just the normal contact. It was the first week of classes, so got a text message saying he was going to go to a social event.
So in your time in undergrad, did you have any affiliation with Greek life or the Greek organization at all?
Yeah, I'm actually an alum.
An alum of Delta Psi Beta?
Yes.
So during your time in undergrad, was hazing ever an issue? Was it ever a thought that this may be the cause for this tragic event, just based on your time in undergrad and knowing the type of fraternity that he was becoming a part of?
In those days, hazing was something that happened, that was accepted, that people did, but just didn't talk about it.
Yeah. So during your time in undergrad, what type of hazing incidents may have occurred?
You know, hazing is often described as being in the eye of the beholder. So what someone is willing to do is maybe completely different than what someone else is willing to do. But at that time, things that would be considered hazing now that were generally accepted there would have been embalming a beer, forced consumption of alcohol, being kidnapped and taken to some other location, possibly there being forced to do some kind of physical activity, laps, push-ups, and then of course, again, usually some additional alcohol consumption that maybe wasn't forced in a physically forced way, but you knew if you didn't do it, you were going to.
So do you feel as if hazing could have been the source of this event, could have been the cause for this incident?
Okay, let's face it. He's at a fraternity party. He drowns in his own vomit. What do you think?
Mr. Jackson, I'm going to continue asking you a series of questions. So I'll start with, you said that you were an alumni of the fraternity in question right now. The incidents that you described, was anyone ever seriously injured or hospitalized for any hazing incidents that may have occurred?
I think that we were smarter, that someone was always monitoring the situation and make sure that didn't happen.
Okay, so there was someone that was kind of designated to make sure things didn't go awry.
Always, it was a requirement.
Okay, good. So the risks were managed pretty properly. Now, on the night of your son's death, did you have any contact with him when it came to him receiving a bid or going to the party?
I had a message from him that he was going to, as he described it, a social event, but I didn't know exactly what event it was.
Okay, so you were unaware that he had even been given a bid to Delta Psi Beta or accepted it at all?
At that time, I was not.
Now, being an alumni of this organization, what would you have told him once he told you that he had been given a bid from this organization? Would you have told him to pursue being a member of this fraternity?
Definitely. I mean, as an alum, I would know what they stand for, what their values are, and would have thought that we'd be a good fit.
Okay, so you would have never foreseen any injuries, and definitely death by him just joining this fraternity and going to their bid day party?
I mean, the fraternity has policies that outline exactly what they should be doing, so the group would have been doing those things. In this case, it sounds like certain individuals did things that the group had not done.
Okay. But you never, throughout the course of that night, you never received any messages, any missed phone calls, anything like that, that might have alerted you that your son was in peril?
I don't think the dead can send text messages.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Good evening. I have a few questions. Could you start by stating your name and your role in Delta Psi Beta fraternity?
Caden Martin, and I'm president of Delta Psi Beta.
So could you describe to us the events that took place on January 21st, 2015 at the Delta Psi Beta house?
We gave out bids to our new guys and had a party just like every other year.
So could you describe the party in a little bit more detail, please?
It was pretty big. We're the best on campus.
You're the best on campus, but the charges against you are physical abuse, hazing, drug and alcohol abuse, and now second-degree manslaughter. Can you elaborate on the events after the party once the guests have left?
It was just like a typical party. Everyone started leaving around 12 or 1. I don't know what happened after that.
So did you leave the party, or do you stay at the fraternity house?
I left.
You left the party. Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, Mr. Martin, I have a few questions for you as well. You say that you've been a member of this fraternity for how long?
This is my junior year,
And what leadership position do you currently hold in the fraternity?
president.
And you've been the president for how many months now?
4.
So in your time as president and time before that when you were a pledge and a new member and so on and so forth, you have never been victim to any hazing incidents. You've never been forced to do anything against your own will.
I was willing to do it.
All right. Have you ever been placed under mental or physical distress?
No.
Okay. And no older members have ever forced you to do anything that was out of the ordinary, anything that you wouldn't do in public. So the events that occurred at the house on January 21st that night, all of these are definitely not true or did not happen.
No.
Were people in the house intoxicated or using other illegal drugs?
Yeah, but it's a college party. It's gonna happen everywhere.
So a typical party. When everyone did go to sleep, everybody left the house. Did everybody get safe rides home? Everybody assumed that made it back okay?
Yeah, we have designated drivers for people.
So you all yourselves plan out designated drivers that drive the people who are partying home?
Yes.
Okay, that seems like a pretty safe option to me. Now, at any point in time, did anyone go down into the basement for any unknown reason?
Not that I know of. I left kind of early.
Okay. How long did the party go on until you think everyone?
I would say around 1 or 2,
Okay, and at that time,
the latest.
there was nothing that had occurred that had alarmed anybody, nothing, no one was freaking out about anything at the time?
No.
Okay. Well, I have no further questions, thank you.
Good evening. I have a few questions for yourself. Could you start off by telling your name and your relationship to the family of the plaintiff?
My name is Jessica Brooks, and I'm the girlfriend of the victim.
Could you describe to the jury the events that took place on January 21st, 2015, from 10 to 12 p.m. at the Delta Psi Beta fraternity house?
I was asked by my boyfriend, Logan, if I was wanting to go to the midday party with them. Sorry, I'm really nervous.
Right, that's no problem. So, at the midday party, we understand there was a large crowd, and the male guests were asked to leave. From that point on in the night, do you remember what happened, or do you have any recollection or memory of where the newly initiated members may have been taken?
We were there, and all the guys in the fraternity asked all the male guests to leave, and the night kind of just took a complete turn. Next thing we know, they're rushing all the new members, pledges as they're called, down the stairs into the basement of the house. I heard paddles just being beat against the new members. I'm pretty sure I heard a goat at some point. There was definitely yelling. There's alcohol just everywhere. The whole house reeked of alcohol. It was strange. It was really strange.
So, the female guests were not asked to leave?
No.
Okay. I have no further questions for Ms. Brooks. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Brooks, I have a few questions for you just for clarity. You said that you were in fact invited by your boyfriend to attend the midday party. Is that true?
Yes.
And were there other people there at the house who were not invited and just showed up?
Yeah, it was just a typical Thursday night party. People were looking for something to do, and they just happened to show up at the Delta Psi Beta house.
Okay. Did your boyfriend address any concerns or voice to you that he was concerned that the fraternity might possibly be hazing or doing anything like that? Had he ever mentioned any hazing that had happened already?
No, it was bid day. That was the day they got their bids. They had just joined. It wasn't expected at all.
Okay. So all of the male guests were asked to leave the house, and none of the female guests were, correct? Okay. Now, when you say you got to the basement, you say that you heard different noises, and you may have heard a goat or whatever. Did you actually physically, with your own eyes, see any of these acts taking place, or be able to firsthand witness any of these?
I didn't actually witness it. I said I heard it just because they did take him into the basement. It was very dark down there.
Okay. Okay. Now, at this party, because it was a party, were you under the influence of any alcohol or any illegal substances?
I had been drinking that night, yes.
Okay, so you were probably intoxicated at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely an option.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no further questions.
Could you start by saying your name and your relationship to the fraternity?
My name's Carolyn Potter, and I'm a sweetheart for Delta Psi Beta.
So, the night of January 21st, could you describe the events that took place that night?
It was just like any other bid day party. Nothing was out of the norm, and it was just like any other year. I'm a fourth year sweetheart, so.
So, no hazing allegations took place, no physical abuse, no.
No. Well, it was just like any other party, nothing different.
Okay, thank you. I have no more questions.
Sure. Okay, Miss Potter, you said that you've been a sweetheart at Delta Psi Beta for the past 4 years. In your 4 years as a sweetheart, you stated that you have never witnessed any heinous activity, any activities that would be considered criminal or negative by the public.
No.
Okay, so typically these nights would end up, students are just drinking, having a good time at parties, getting a safe ride home and going to bed.
Yes.
Okay. So, were any of the events that took place that night forced upon the pledges, or did it make them feel like they were under any mental or physical duress?
No. They could have backed out at any time. It was all free will.
Okay, so but everything was done in good nature, done out of fun, nothing out of hatefulness or spite or authority.
Yeah, I brought a video with me if you'd like to.
Yeah, may we see that?
Yes.
Will the court direct your attention, please, to the screen?
Let's make these pledges drink some beer.
Chug, 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 break, chug, break, chug, break. Okay.
Push up, push
Push
up,
up, push up, push up, push up, push up. 1, 2, go down lower, 3, 4, 5. Let's go, yeah.
push up, push up.
We got it. We got this.
Good evening. I'd like you to start by stating your name and your relationship to Delta Psi Beta.
My name is Molly Andrews. I don't really have a close relationship with it. I just know a couple of the guys from class.
Okay, so the night of January 21st, 2015, how did you find out about the party and were you in attendance?
A bunch of my sorority sisters got invited. A couple of my sorority sisters are dating some of the guys, so I decided to go with them.
Okay. So, were there any hazing incidents or things that may be considered hazing to you that you witnessed with your own eye?
Well, I started, it was kind of just like a typical party, like the guys were having to do push-ups or whatever, but it was like everyone was having fun. But then, they wanted all of the, male guests that weren't involved with the fraternity to leave, and that's when it started getting a little strange.
So when you say it started getting strange, were the new members taken somewhere in the house around the facility?
Yeah, they were taken to the basement, I think, and you could just hear them kind of screaming at the older guys or yelling. It sounded not very pleasant. I actually took some videos of what happened because, I don't know, I thought it was very strange. It didn't seem normal. I've been to fraternity parties before and that didn't really seem to happen at other big-day parties that I've been to.
Okay, so we would like to look at those videos that you have and show it to the people of the court and the jury, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Will the court direct your attention to the screen?
Y'all come snort this coke. No, he has to do it. Come snort this coke. Hey, come on. Who's the first? Yeah! Yeah!
Hit that shit!
Okay. We're ready, Spencer. You good?
Let's just get in the basement.
In the basement!
Let's go faster! Bend over, Clyde.
Miss Andrews, was the video that you just showed us, was this taken with your own handheld device?
Yeah, it was taken with my iPhone.
And it wasn't tampered with in any way, shape, or form?
No, I'm an education major. I wouldn't know how to do that.
What year are you in college?
I'm a junior.
you're a junior, and in your time at this university, have you witnessed any incidents that look similar to this?
Not really. That's why I was so shocked that night. Like I said, I know a few of the guys in the fraternity, and they're really good guys, so I was very kind of disappointed.
Okay. Did any of the active members of the chapter seem under any duress or worried about the events that were going to occur in the night? Did it seem like anyone was uneasy about what was about to happen?
Not really, not that I really noticed, but I mean, by the time that the actual beating and physical stuff happened, I mean, everyone was kind of pretty intoxicated, so I think that would have shaken any nerves.
Were you intoxicated or under the influence of any drugs?
I had drank probably 3 beers.
Okay. I have no further questions for the witness.